Adenike Obadari. Today we'll be talking about intellectual development. As a teacher, what are the most important things in the life of a child, from your own opinion? Perhaps you say they need to have the following in their lives: attention and attachment to parents and to the adults in their environment. They need to have playmates. Maybe they need to have a religious pathway in life. Future security, trust fund in case they lose a parent or the parents lose their source of income. The most important thing is to critically look at where in the world the child is growing up. That is the most important thing to look at when we are doing evaluation of the intellectual development of a child. Irrespective of all the things that we think of or observe in a child, we need to critically look at where in the world the child is growing up. All the things we think of in the world depends on the context of where in the world the child and his parents are living. Montessori will always talk about the environment. The environment consists of every human, living and even non-living things in the environment of the child. So as adults, it is important for us to think twice before we decide on where to live with our children, where to locate our schools, where to take children through every day in our school buses. All of these things culminate into what we call the environment of the child. Now, in the environment of the child are the following: the family, the community, the nation, the state, and the religion of the parents. We've had one or two experiences of children whose parents are in some religions that are not in tune with most of the schools these children go to. There is a particular sect of religion. I don't know why they don't have a school of their own, but I see so many school owners and teachers complain about children who come from this sect of religion, because when they come, they don't do this, they are not going to be doing that, and they are not going to be doing this. For example, the national anthem. Even as an adult, when I sing the national anthem, I think through the words as we call it out in that solemn moment. But there are parents who have decided to belong to a religion that denies or deprives those children from even learning the content of that anthem. I don't know why. A child will not be floating in space, neither will they be autonomous. Therefore, this type of children does not exist, because every child is a product of somewhere. There is no child that dropped from the skies. Every child is a product of somewhere. So the question we need to ask ourselves as educators, as teachers, and as parents, when we begin to look at some attitude and some intellectual disabilities in children, is: where is this child coming from? That involves the parents. We talk about the gene and the DNA of the child. That includes who are the adults in the environment of the child. What happens in the environment of the child? Now, contextual and cultural differences has a lot to do with who a child is and how they will grow up. We often bracket the context out and think of the child as an individual entity. A child cannot exist outside of the context of his or her environment, or the things he or she is exposed to every day. Factors to consider when evaluating a child's intellectual development: importance of social responsibility and collaborative learning. Secondly, multi-caretaking. We live in a multi-caretaking society. Attachment to social settings and community. Some children are so attached to their social setting and community that when they move to another community or another location, it poses a problem to their intellectual progress. For example, the Caucasians, people of Ukraine, are at war now presently. A lot of them have dispersed to different parts of the planet and of the earth. Europe, maybe America, everywhere. The people who this incident, this war going on, is going to affect the most are the children. They can go to school again. They can't sleep when they should sleep. They don't know where their next meal is coming from. They are just practically roaming the earth as if they are like animals, like sheep. So the children are confused, and because the mothers and fathers are depressed, they can't even give those children the type of attention they used to give them. The environment is chaotic right now for them. It's weird, and there is a lot of social bias that is going to be going on. For example, maybe the Caucasians are a type of tribe that believes that maybe they don't eat particular types of food, they don't greet in a particular way. They have no choice now because they are not even at home. And hunger pan is not the friend of anybody. They might be reserved and exclusive, but all of that can be taken away from them. 3, girls' life divulge from that of boys. Some societies don't educate girls, hence they encourage early marriage. They deprive women, like in Nigeria, they are only giving us women 35% in political activities and federal appointments, which is not like that in some developed countries like Europe and in America. It's almost the same thing with male and female. Institutions children are living in and will probably go into is another factor that can affect intellectual development in children. What kind of personality is actually important to have in the environment of the child? Many children are born into poverty and deprivation. They grow up underweight, malnourished, with poor health conditions and failing memories. The teacher could be talking about photosynthesis and the child could be thinking about fried rice. Does it mean that child has intellectual disability? No, but the situation at hand has made it so much so that when you are feeling, we as women are feeling hunger pangs, our sensory organs respond more to the hunger than to the color of the green leaf of photosynthesis that the teacher is talking about. Our reflexes are not going to go in the way of the green leaves. Our early circumstances does have profound influence on the way the rest of our lives turn out. Perhaps it would be good if children had the opportunity to choose their own parents so they won't be born into poverty. But unfortunately, we don't choose our parents. Nature chooses them for us. On the contrary, if a child is born into poverty, they can still end up having good education and a good life. And this is where parental intervention and influence matters a lot. Unfortunately, we can't choose our parents, like I said earlier on, and how much they earn. Children with parents who have ambitions about them, even if those parents do not have the economic power, can have their bodies in life lessen. These children can be helped to participate actively, especially in their early years, if by they participate actively in their early years, even though they come from a poor background. Parents really matter, especially in what they do. The result of a recent study in the UK shows that 17,000 out of the children born in the year 1970 grew up as successful adults. Why, you may say? This was because parents in that era were largely educated and were involved in the lives of their children's learning. They read to them at night, spend time with them, take them on vacation, and send them to good schools. Reading daily to their children between 5 to 10 year olds, talking and listening to them, and interesting interested in how their lives turn out after the age of 10. The gene factor will always be there, and that's a whole lot of discussion if we decide to go into that area now. Another British study revealed that children that goes to bed at specific times of the night and observes bedtime routines are likely to turn out as better adults when compared to children that goes to bed at irregular hours of the night every day. They will end up having behavioral problems. The first set of children have improvement in their behavior, and this will affect their intellectual ability than the second set of children. Poverty leaves a lasting scar in the lives of children. How children will live and walk their own paths largely depends on the decision of their parents, their genes, their life experiences, and the way we answer their heartfelt questions. Thank you.